All right, so we gonna put Oda Poole in the white terrorist category. And now we're gonna put Oda Poole in the white terrorist category because as a police officer, he never needed to be a vigilante to enact his beliefs, and also because his actions have been of terroristic natures. See, KKK Kyle Saunders, as much as I don't agree with him tearing down the memorials and believe he's tearing down the memorials with racist intent and racist ideology, it's not a terroristic act. The same thing with KKK Cloud from Old City Hall Apartments. It's not a terroristic act. Public Works minions, not terroristic acts. Even Marja Kyle Bevers, weaponizing the police is very borderline terroristic, but it's not terroristic acts. The slasher, spray, honky. But Oda Poole, these police officers are the ones who have the power to engage in terroristic actions. They have the lack of accountability, lack of transparency, and the authority granted to them by the state to enact these terroristic actions, to take it to a different level. And so Oda Poole has, I believe, it's either 5 or 6. I believe it is 5. I believe it's 6, but shot 5 people. Shot 2 people while he was in D.C., killed one of them, I believe. Then he shot 3 people while he was up here and killed 2 people. Oda Poole was separated from the force. He was brought back onto the force underneath Tom McNamara, who's a white nationalist. We'll get into him in a little bit, the mayor of the city. He was brought back, and he was given a $700,000 pension by the city of Rockford, granted by Tom McNamara, and he's now using that $700,000 to run for Boone County Sheriff to continue his white terroristic actions. And so Oda Poole, he even killed somebody's dog. So Oda Poole is going to fall into the white terrorist group. Now let's look up the definition of terrorists. Let's look it up. I need to make sure Oda Poole didn't have his ass down there at the Capitol. Somebody find out if Oda Poole was at the Capitol. Lord Jesus. They and this motherfucker playing DMX on this racist ass street. DMX rolling over in his fucking grave. DMX, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, DMX. These niggas need to be playing DMX. Act like DMX when these white folks and these police pop up. Then they Talib Kweli. I shouldn't say that about Talib Kweli. Talib Kweli was struck. I'm just talking about music. I'm talking about that music. All right, anyways. All right, terrorism. Definition of terrorism. The unlawful use of violence and intimidation, especially against civilians, in the pursuit of political aims. Now, see, that categorizes exactly what Oda Poole is, but that also encapsulates all the other groups, all the other things of white nationalism, white supremacy, white vigilantism. All of those things are combined and manifest in this terrorism. Because once somebody realizes that they can get away with enacting a white nationalist ideology or a white supremacist ideology better with a blue uniform and a badge and a gun on, and they can get that license to kill, then the first thing that happens is they become police officers if they're young enough. If they're not, maybe they just have their kids become police officers. And so again, the unlawful use of violence and intimidation. Oda Poole shot and murdered Mark Barmore inside of a church, inside of a daycare, in front of children. Let me read you an excerpt of Oda Poole's actions. Let's read an excerpt of the captain of the racist. Other than possibly, this is an excerpt out of a lawsuit against the Rockford Police Department in the city of Rockford for Mark Barmore being murdered by the police department, 2009. Other than possibly the children in the basement, the only apparent civilian witness to Officer Poole's shooting of Barmore said in the written statement she gave to RPD the day of the incident that she saw Barmore come out of the boiler room with his hands up and saw one officer shoot Barmore from about 4 feet away. The witness states she then stepped out of the doorway and heard 2 or 3 additional gunshots after that. This formal statement is consistent with the information she gave to an officer while still on scene moments after the shooting. Later media reports quote that this witness is stating that the officer shined his flashlight into the boiler room and told him to come out. He came out real slow with his hands up and his head down, and they shot him. He fell over into the sink. He tried to get back up, and they shot him again. This is inside of a daycare, inside of a church, in front of children. This is Oda Poole, employed by the Rockford Police Department. These are his actions. He's running for Boone County Sheriff off the $700,000 that racist Tom McNamara saw fit to give to him. Maybe one of Tom's family members is going to be part of his sheriff team, his cabinet as sheriff. A heavy-set officer was the one who was shooting him while he was on the ground. The witness's initial statement to police is at odds with Officers North and Poole's versions of events in some respects and consistent with their version of events in other respects. Consistent with the forensic evidence, this witness saw an officer and Barmore facing each other and saw the officer fire one time. Also consistent with the evidence, this witness heard 3 shots after she backed away from the door. A second civilian witness, according to her written statement, stated that she did not see the shooting, but that she heard 4 gunshots and then turned to see an officer with his gun pointed in a downward position. That happened here in the A15. They over there playing Biggie. That's partying. That's get money, get money. I wonder if they gonna talk about. I wonder if over there while that Biggie playing, they talking about Mark Barmore getting murdered. Because that's what's in the A15. They playing Brooklyn music. That's Brooklyn music, but this is what the A15 is. The A15 is not no Brooklyn music. The A15 is not Notorious B.I.G. The A15 is Mark Barmore being murdered inside of a church by the Notorious P.I.G. That's what Rockford is. That's what the 815 is. And as long as we continue to have black people who will allow our culture to be exploited for these white people to put on a masquerade as to what is going on in this city, we will continue to end up with Logan Bells, Kerry Blakes, Mark Barmores, Denzel Duvance, Tyrus Jones, Jose Gonzalez Jr.'s, and the list will continue to go on and on until we raise up a generation of people who will not sell out, till we raise up a generation of people who will not be house Negroes, till we raise up a generation of people who will find it just to sacrifice their life, their body, and their freedom to make sure that their children can have the liberty to have a life and a body and freedoms. And as of now, we have not had a single generation in this city 100% committed to making sure the next generation is of that mindset when it comes to communities of color and exploited and oppressed communities. And that ends here. That line was drawn on May 30th, and we haven't turned back since, and it won't be any turning back. So while they over there playing all of this music from places outside of this city that don't represent not only what this city is, but the climate in this city. The climate in this city. It's people of color over here taking pictures and partying, bullshitting on the same street that people of color last year had their human rights violated. On the same street that a teenager was arrested. On the same street that people was pepper sprayed. People was falsely arrested, punched, kicked, all types of things by police officers. On the same street, they out here. This is what they out here celebrating. City Market every Friday falsely arrest people or at the helm of people being falsely arrested. It's nothing to celebrate in this city. Only people that should be they should be out here playing some Toby Keith. It should be some white people out here playing Toby Keith and what's the dude who made the song with Nelly? The dude who made the song with Nelly, the Over and Over, Tim McGraw. That's because those who should be celebrating, that's who winning out here. The people who listen to Biggie and listen to Tupac, they not winning. Go to the other side of the river and look at the things that the way mass incarceration is done in this city, the way police terrorism, racial injustice is enacted in this city. The mayor won't even say the names of the black people who get shot by the police. And then you gonna come across the street and play black music on a Saturday, calling yourself celebrating 815 Day, celebrating the 815. It ain't nothing celebratory about the 815 when it comes to people of color and communities of color in this city. Play some YG, fuck the police over there. That's what you play. You want to hear Nan nigga. That's one song you can guarantee not on the playlist. That's one song you guarantee. You know what? They ain't gonna be no NWA fuck the police. They ain't got that on the aux. I promise you that. So, anyways, let's get back. My fault. See, I let myself get off topic. We back. We on the categories. So did we add some? Oh yeah, we added Poole to the category. That wasn't too much off topic.